Hey there, would you like to become an investor but you don't have the money or the information on how to get started? Well, watch this video and hopefully I'll give you some simple tips that you can start becoming an investor in real estate with very little money out of pocket. Guys, my name is Chris Hooten. I've been a mortgage loan officer for over 20 years, and during that time I've worked with many types of clients, from first-time home buyers to step-up buyers, retirement buyers, and investors. And I've seen many types of investors. There's the type of investor that has a bunch of money and can go out and buy multiple properties or maybe flip them, but has the money in hand, cash in hand to do so. Most people are not in that situation. So I want to give you some tips, and I'm going to kind of use a real-life example of an individual that I've worked with and how he became an investor at a very young age, and how you could do the same thing regardless of your age, regardless of your financial situation. So you don't own a home right now, you'd like to own a home right now, you meet all the other qualifications, but you don't have much money, so you don't think you can buy. So first of all, there are first-time homebuyer programs out there that will basically pay your entire down payment for you, and some will even help with closing costs, okay? So we've eliminated that problem. Next, how do you become an investor? Okay, so there's a couple of ways to do it. So let's just say you're young and you're starting out. I'm just, again, going to kind of frame this around a real-life experience. A young individual, he was 22 years old, no family, so he was flexible as far as the kind of property that he wanted to buy. He chose to buy a 4-unit property. Okay, he's going to live in one, or he did live in one, and he rented the other 3. So a couple of things that happen here. Number one, the rent from the other 3 units can help him qualify for the loan because we can use a portion of those rents. Number two, once the loan is closed, the money he collects from those 3 units can help him either pay the mortgage or start setting money aside for that next purchase down the road. So that's what he decided to do in his case. You can do whatever you like. Some people will take that money and apply it to the principal to gain equity quicker. So instantly, he's a first-time home buyer, but he became an investor that quick, okay? Let me give you another example, okay? Let's just say you're a young couple, maybe you have one child, but you're just starting out. You buy something small, something that you know that you're only going to be in for a couple of years, okay? Maybe a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, a little bit older, something in your price range. Now, you buy that with the intention of either selling it and taking the equity and putting it into the next home, or having that become a rental property at some point, okay? Because the goal here is to start building equity as quickly as you can, okay? Most young individuals will rent, sometimes into their 30s, throwing all that money out the window when they could actually be building equity and start investing in themselves, okay? Now, when you buy the single unit, okay, the 2-bedroom, 1-bath that I just described, it's a little harder because you don't have that additional income coming in. However, you are building equity, and that equity could then roll into the next purchase. Okay, in that same situation, you could also buy maybe a duplex or a triplex, live in one unit. Again, you have a small young family, and rent the others, creating cash flow for yourself or offsetting the mortgage payment. Okay, so what's the next step? Because owning one piece of property, even if it's a multiple unit, doesn't necessarily make you a real estate investor. Okay, so back to the first individual. He bought a 4-plex, okay, used that money to save for the next down payment. And what he did was he moved from that 4-plex, bought a bigger, nicer, newer 4-plex that was, more money. And again, he planned to live in one unit. Now, the way he can get away with that, because number one, it was true, and number two, it was an upgrade. It was bigger, it was nicer, it was in a better area. So as long as he's planning on living in it, it doesn't matter that he's going from one apartment to another. It's just the fact that he's going to occupy it. So he was this time able to save a down payment, and he didn't have to save that much. It was only 5% of the purchase price, okay, because he's going to live in one of the properties. So now he puts the 5% down, he moves in. Now he's got the first 4 units paying him a monthly rent that not only pay that mortgage, but then some. Now he has the 3 units on the new property that he's not living in, plus the one he's living in, paying him money that's helping him pay that mortgage, okay? So with very little down payment, and this was, by the way, from the purchase of the first unit to the purchase of the second one, was only about 3 years that he was able to do this. So he went from not owning a house to having 8 units within 3 years with very little money out of his pocket. Matter of fact, if you think about all the rents that he collected, it was almost zero of his own money that he used in both of these transactions. Now, what he can do from there, if he chooses to, okay, and this is, again, a true story, so I know what he chose to do, he actually sold the first fourplex, took all the profit from that, and there was quite a bit, put money down on a single-family residence that him and now his wife plan on living in and raising their family, and then took the remainder of it and bought another multi-unit property, okay, because now he has the equity from that first, and he can put the required 20% down on the next multi-unit, okay? So now he has 2 multi-unit properties and the single-family residence that he lives in. In this case, I think there's 7 units that are generating a monthly income that not only pay the mortgage on the 2 rental properties, but they also pay the mortgage on the house that he lives in. So guys, I know that was a lot of information. I hope it wasn't too confusing, but my point is, if you are a young individual listening to this, or mom and dad, if you have a young person in your life that wants to get started the right way and start building equity through real estate, because I don't think this is a shocking statement here, but more wealth is built through real estate than any other investment out there, and it has been that way for a very long time. So the sooner you can get started, the better. So take this advice, start small, whether it's that small house that you can start building equity in and roll that equity into something else, or big suggestion, buy a multi-unit property that you can use the rents from the other properties to offset the payment and or help you save to the next property. And all of this can be done on the first transaction with very little money and sometimes no money out of your pocket. So guys, I hope this was helpful. Again, this is kind of a long video. I normally like to keep them short, but I think this is a really interesting topic that a lot of people probably don't realize. But if you get started young, very quickly you can start accumulating a lot of equity and a lot of wealth in real estate. Hope this was helpful. My name is Chris Hooten. I am your MLO.